Hey everyone, doing any big here. Just wanted to put a little video together here for you guys. Um, I had a lot of questions lately in regards to entries from a few of the guys in the group. So just wanted to give a couple little clarifications on a few things to help you set things up. And just going to show you, I consider it more of an A plus setup. All right. And then with the new indicator, that even comes being a bit more prevalent. Um, all right. So let's see here. If we look at here, we're at the 5 minutes coming down and across. Right now, the MACD is actually coming close to the zero line. EMAs are crossing. We should be seeing like a setup that's here. Now, two things I want you to look at here on the 40. Right here, we had a range. All right. Now, besides seeing this range here, MACD is below the signal line, the standard, and coming close to the zero line. This is giving us hints here as to what's going on. So we're in a range and it's coming down. All right. Technically, would this be a good entry? Let's zoom in a bit. All right. We're right here. We're still waiting for, let's have the new indicator here. Here's the cloud. So it's crossing over. It crossed over. All right. Now we're supposed to wait for it to break and get a pullback. Now, I'm going to show you two things that we see with this here. You have the range, breaks out of the range, pulls back to retest the range. So we have a range breakout pullback, which is a pattern. All right. Now, as the MACD crosses below, look at the fast. It pulls back above the signal line. And as this is crossing down, we're breaking the 8. That's our signal. Okay. Actually, let's see if we have this here. So from there, we're above, we're above, above. All right. That's going with the 5. Yeah, everything's in line with the 5 minute. Everything's in line with the 1 minute. We go right back to the beginning of it. All right. So everything was in line, and that's where we got a nice move. When the standard MACD breaks the zero line and the fast breaks above as it's coming back down, that's giving you a great insight as to the pullback that happens after the MACD crosses the zero line. All right. When I say there's usually like a pullback, whatever that happens, well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All right. It usually happens also right after the MACD crosses. See the MACD crosses here? You got a pullback. Okay. MACD crossed here. We got a pullback. Okay. That's a typical pattern that happens. But when you see it crossing the zero line, see if there's a range. Let the range break, pull back, and then you look for your sniper entry. And it'll usually happen as this crosses. Okay? And that'll get you a pretty good run. All right. See if right here we have a range. All right. The stand is crossing up. We had a range. It broke above the range, pull back, and then we got our run. All right. Here, here to here. And that actually still helped. All right. And there's our MA right there. And it came off of one. But all right. Try to take a look to see if you see a range. If you see a range and you see it break out, like This here, ooh, that's interesting. So we just broke below the zero line. All right. We had a range, broke down, it pulled back up, it closed down right on an MA, but it closed down. All right. The 5 minute, everything is in line. The 1 minute, 1 minute was it was a little above and a little below on the let's see. Yeah, this is it's breaking below, but the 8 is a little bit above the 21. Yeah, I guess it's be a little funny. Hmm. That's here, that's there. So not sure about that. But that probably would no, that works, yeah. So that would have went and this one would have been a loser. All right. And that's with that one. Let's see. This is crossing up here. We didn't really have a range. So this just gives us a signal. And that's a good run here. Okay. See this cross up right here, there, there, and more. 16 points. Um, so, all right. So if you see a range and you see like prices just going sideways for a little bit, like right here even, all right. We have the MACDs above the zero line and it's going below the signal. It's kind of going back and forth above the signal. The fast is going hugging the zero. We had a range right here. It broke out, pulled back right here. No, here's our signal to get it. All right, we're 1 to 1, but hey, positive expect to see still there. Got your scalp. All right. Now, I have a toggle so I can actually just roll right through and scroll it in and out. See here, we're just heading on up. So every time we're coming close to crossing the fast right here, nice little entry. All right. We also had a, do this right here. All right. Had a trend line. We have a little continuation going right here. All right. You see this crossing up here. This is a good one. You have trap traders right here as you're going in, and then the candle that broke, you had it bulldog. All right. You don't need any more insight than what's going on right there. Okay. You'd see you had a delta flip. This is a delta divergence with the trap traders right here. All right. Wasn't much, but you still got your scalp. Okay. This here was another one right here. This candle broke up here. This is here, right to this. Over on the bottom. All right. Now if we look at that, oh, geez. All right. So this one happened rather quickly. in 20 seconds. 6.25 points in 25 minutes, right? That was definitely one of those slow. The other day, it's kind of slow. So, but it still worked. All right. Let's take a look here. This is all above on the five. And let's see where we are on the one. Yep. Everything's good on the one. Everything's good on the five. Right there's where the MACD crossed over on the 5 minute. So that's all set. All conditions are met. All conditions are met. Right here. Once again, conditions are met. Okay. And we go. Um, Now I'm going to do one other little thing here for us here. With the, so basically the A plus is when, go back to like, see, here, here. MACD standard crosses up. As it crosses up, which it crossed up right here, the fast goes up, cross down, cross back up. Therefore, it gives you a good signal if all other conditions are met, and you have your entry. So, MACD crossed up here, the fast hit below, it's crossing back up here. We have EMA stacked because right here is, oh, let's see if I can put it, there it is. There's the 21. The 8 is right there. We closed above the 8. Got a strong amount of delta pushing us down. That went nowhere because it took a little bit of delta right here to flip it and to go on up. All right, so we had a delta flip right here, which didn't take much of the buyers to step in to push this back up. If we look, we had a bit of a range here. All right, pulled out, pulled back in, right above this here, pulled in under, we're going, and that's a good trade. All right, now I'm just showing you the 40 because that's typically what you're looking for on the 40 when it's crossing over. You want to make sure your other conditions with the 5 and the 1 are intact. All right, so this here, nice little trade. All right, now with the new system, you see this trade here going right to there. If you look at the 5 minute, the MACD crossed up, all right, as this trade was coming to play, okay? So you wouldn't really be taking this trade looking at the 5 minute, okay? But this here is a reversion trade on the 5 minute. With the new indicator, see this line up top? That could be your target on a reversion trade. It went over the fast and then came back on up. That would be a reversion trade. Those are not that high of quality, but they still do work when they do. If you have the right setup, it could go on the way down. The way that the newer one goes, I'll go over everything with you guys, but look at the way down. As soon as it breaks out, we're good to go. Now, since we're coming in a downtrend here, this here would be a good scenario. So let's break this out. We crossed here. What happens? We got a little bit of a pullback and it breaks down right here. This is EMA is just crossing under on the 5 minute. So technically, you're stacked. MACD is above the zero, coming to the zero on the 5 minute. So we know when it hits the zero line, we have a pullback, typically. So still could have taken it. It's, could have taken it and we would have had a small loss. Okay. But if you look here, now we're breaking the zero line on the 5 minute. We've already broke the line here. We cross back up. This is crossing back down. The fast is going down. But if you look at this here, we're in a range. So you can take the trade, but typically I would be waiting to see the fast now go across. When the fast goes above, it crosses back down, and the MACD is below the signal line. That's a great entry area. If you look where the candle is, it retested that range. Okay. Now you're wondering why did I take it from up here? Little anticipation. You already had a range right here. It was going back and forth. They tried twice to pull it on up from here. Came down, we broke out of the range. It pulled back up to the bottom of the range. All right. If you look here, we had, let's see if I show you guys here. So you have a range. When it pulls a full candle out of the range, it's one thing with the 40. Pulls back in when it's coming back down. As long as it doesn't show that it's going to be heading back up and in, we're having all the evidence on the 5 minute that we're heading down. The 1 minute is, let's see if we could get this over a little more. You see? So the 1 minute right here, we're closing below the 8. That's below the 21. We're coming down. All right. You see that there's positive delta on the top. Let's get negative delta, positive delta on the bottom with a negative delta on the bottom. This positive delta, delta flip, all right? They got stuck and you bring it down. If you would have even waited, this one's still touching the 8, this other candle, you still had a good trade, all right? This crossing up to cross back down is always nice. Cross down here, we're already in downtrend. This is coming below, all right? This one probably would have gotten in probably right around here. This is actually the candle we're getting. Another nice scalp. All right. So just wanted to go over just a couple of nice little ways of getting in. You guys already know the continuation with the trend line. Draw the trend line to get in. All right. Uh, and you can do those pretty much anywhere. Let's see. Oh, this is right here. Look here, we're on the downtrend. Where does that come in? We cross the zero here, this is here, and you're good to go. This ends up being a reversion trade with the newer indicator because we're right here. Think right to it. All right. I'll go over all the rules with the newer one as I get closer to get this out to you guys here. All right. But you see a range, wait for the retest. All right. Wait for it to pull out one candle, a full candle. All right. And then you guys have better odds on how it's going to play out. This here looks like it's going to go up, but look where we are. We're way below. So when the MACDs fall down below, there is no need for looking for much. Okay. This is crossing up. Now, this one here, we've SC took this the other day. Yep, this was on Friday, and SC took this at the end of the day there. Um, with this trade, this is something that I see quite a bit with this new indicator. As it breaks the extreme line and it pulls back, we get a kiss signal. Trap traders, a bulldog, absorption, or even the surge. Typically, it'll happen right here. Get it. All right. That's giving you the signal right there. That's where KISS really plays out. All right. That's another A plus setup. When we get this new one out to you guys. If you see where this is on the 5 minute, we're not with the EMA line, but this dynamic aspect of everything gives us into a better scenario with quite a few trades. This here, we break the bottom end of it. As soon as it breaks through, we have all the other conditions met. That goes. Um, let's see. It broke through it right here. Conditions were met. We're good to go. It broke here. Conditions weren't completely met. All right. But if you did, it's only a small loss. Wasn't too crazy. Um, this is why I'm liking this new one quite a bit here. Uh, took a while to get developed, but see here, we finally had a full candle, actually had a full candle break here. This came down below. So even if you would have taken this here, you probably would have stopped you on that there. All right. But we're, yep, let's see, this here, this would have been an entry here. This would have been a red right there. And this here, once it crossed down right here, had a good trade there. All right. All right. Don't want to make this too long for you guys. So try to look for ranges, see the retests. Those are good ones. Looking for the break of the range, like a breakout for the range. Ideally, most ranges will fail and they'll retest before they go. So, um, if you see that with the setup with the MACD, then you have a pretty good idea of what's happening. All right. MACD is going to give you some hints as to what the direction of the breakout would be. Okay. But there's no need to be forcing it to go. If you get the retest, you have a lot better probability with the trade. Okay. Here, because zero, this didn't come down below. It just went right on up. All the conditions all met. So you're good. And then we went through all these. All right. All right. Well, that is it. And I'll catch you guys soon. All right.